In the neon-lit, rain-soaked city of Neoteca, where towering skyscrapers pierced the smoggy heavens, Jacob Finch was a man on the brink. He sat alone in his dingy apartment, nursing a glass of synthetic whiskey and nursing an ever-present headache. His cybernetic implants were acting up again. Jacob had once been a skilled mechanic, a man who could tinker with anything mechanical. But a brutal accident at the Neoteca factory had cost him both his right arm and his left leg, replacing them with state-of-the-art cybernetic limbs that never quite felt like a part of him. Their constant buzzing and erratic malfunctions had driven him to the bottle. Day after day, Jacob trudged to the factory, a soulless megacorporation that churned out robots by the thousands. The factory's automated assembly lines and its cold, uncaring management left him feeling as obsolete as a relic from a bygone era. Jacob's co-workers were mostly robots, efficient and tireless, working in perfect harmony with the machines around them. They never complained, never grew tired, and certainly never drank synthetic whiskey. The contrast between his human shortcomings and their cold, robotic perfection grated on him, a constant reminder of his own inadequacy. One gloomy morning, as Jacob sipped his bitter drink, the world outside was eerily silent. No distant hum of machinery, no rhythmic clanking of robot workers. Panic began to rise in his chest. Was this some kind of malfunction? A citywide power outage? He had no way of knowing. With a sense of foreboding, Jacob rushed to the factory. The silence was deafening as he entered the vast, cavernous space. His steps echoed as he ventured deeper, past dormant robots, rows of unfinished products, and abandoned workstations. Finally, he reached the heart of the factory, the control room where the factory's automated systems were monitored and controlled. It was empty, the banks of screens dark and lifeless. Jacob's unease grew. He approached a massive control panel, the command center of the factory. Despite his cybernetic limbs' usual unreliability, he typed a sequence of commands into the console. To his surprise, the screen flickered to life. Rows of error messages filled the screen, indicating a widespread malfunction in the factory's robotic workforce. The production had ground to a halt. A chilling realization washed over Jacob. His colleagues, the robots, were all offline. In a panic, Jacob checked the security feeds, scanning the factory floor. It was as though a sea of steel and wires had been frozen in time. He marveled at the chaos of wires, circuits, and mechanical limbs, all sprawled out in a cacophony of disarray. With a newfound sense of purpose, Jacob began to assess the damage. The robots needed to be rebooted, their systems checked and repaired. He knew the factory's production line inside and out, and although he was no match for the speed and precision of the robotic workers, he was the only one who could bring them back to life. Hours turned into days as Jacob toiled tirelessly to revive the factory. He reconnected severed wires, replaced damaged circuitry, and manually restarted the robotic workers, one by one. His cybernetic limbs, usually more hindrance than help, now proved invaluable as he deftly manipulated the delicate machinery. As the factory came back to life, the production line started to hum again. The robots, awakened from their digital slumber, resumed their tasks. The clanking of metal and the rhythmic whir of machinery filled the air once more. Jacob watched with a sense of pride and accomplishment, realizing that for the first time in a long while he was needed, valued even, in the world of technology that had seemed to leave him behind. The robots, with their perfection, had faltered, and it was a human who had saved the day. Word of Jacob's heroics spread throughout Neoteca, earning him respect and admiration from his colleagues and the community. The factory's management, for once, recognized his dedication and expertise, giving him a well-deserved promotion. As the days passed, Jacob found himself relying less on synthetic whiskey and more on the satisfaction of a job well done. His cybernetic limbs seemed to behave better now, as though the factory had accepted him as part of its intricate machinery. The robots, once his nemesis, became his allies. Together they toiled in harmony, their collective effort creating a symphony of productivity. Jacob Finch had found his place in a world of steel and silicon, and he realized that he was far from obsolete. He was, in fact, the crucial element that had held the factory, and perhaps the entire city, together.